All right, let's talk about your forecast here as we've got lots of sunshine, blue skies outside the ABC4 studios as we kick the day off. Here comes our friend Mr. Sunshine as he makes his way up. 67 degrees outside, at least the station right now. Not the story everywhere. In fact, it's 43 degrees currently in the Heber Valley, 59 in Price, 63 degrees currently in Logan. We've got 69 in Ogden, 67 here in Salt Lake City, as I mentioned, but 54 degrees in Delta. How about the 40s? Look at that, 45 degrees in Elko. Ely at 40 degrees as well. 68 in St. George, 57 degrees for our friends in Blanding, but it's a balmy 73 currently in Moab. Breezy conditions. We've got some unsettled weather with a storm system that's centered up near the Canadian border, but we've got a trailing wave back towards northern Nevada, and so that's ushering in kind of the squeeze play for us. So what that means is we're going to see a lot of moisture, especially for areas off to our east as you move into Colorado, off to our northeast up towards Wyoming. Idaho is going to get in on some good moisture, and areas off to our west, but we're kind of sandwiched into that dry flow. We call this the dry slot, and that means we're going to just see the gusty, dry winds coming in from the south and west for most of us. Some of us, though, will still keep a chance of a few isolated storms in the forecast. All right, let's time it out for you with Futurecast. Again, you can see most of the state waking up to that sunshine, clear sky. That will be the trend as we go throughout the day. But again, could see an isolated shower or two, potentially grazing far south in eastern sections of the state this afternoon, especially once we get past 1 or 2 o'clock. And then we'll see a few of those potentially into the central portions of the state from Castle Country back up towards the Uintas. Not a lot of rain expected. Northwestern Box Elder County could also see a few isolated showers. 1 or 2 of these could give us a sprinkle along the Wasatch Front later this evening and tonight. Just don't see a ton of moisture coming down. And now as we head into your Friday, it's a little different story. I think we'll see a little bit more moisture showing up because we're going to have this low pressure system on the move, and it'll put us in the flow that could allow for more of that moisture. So we're still not talking about major rain chances, at least for most of us, but I do think across the eastern half of the state, things become a little more active here so as you get towards Moab, blending up towards Grand County, maybe even portions of the Uintas back over towards Castle Country. So areas east of I-15, I think you'll have a little better chance as we go into your Friday afternoon and Friday night. Even the chance of some blue there, yeah, and portions of the high Uintas could see our first snowflakes of the season coming in. How about that? And then notice as we go into your Saturday, we'll keep that chance of isolated showers and storms in the forecast here. So I think Friday and Saturday will hold a better chance than as opposed to today. But with today being said, there is still that chance of an isolated storm, maybe even a strong storm with some gusty winds, potentially from Vernal over towards Moab, down towards Blanding. But again, I think most of that today will be off to our east. With that being said, we've also have these flood alerts in effect for eastern portions of the state as well. Now, if you're not dealing with the isolated storm chance, which is most of us, you're dealing with the gusty winds this afternoon. These winds will gust up to 30, potentially 40 miles per hour as they go throughout this afternoon, and that could lead to some issues as well. In fact, we've got an elevated fire concern for you here across central and southwestern portions of the state here. This is where we're going to be seeing the dry air, the gusty southwesterly winds leading to that potential. The Wasatch Front today, I think we climb into the low to mid 80s, partly cloudy skies. There's that chance of an isolated shower, but mainly east of I-15. So most of us will stay on the dry side. As we look towards the forecast here for your Thursday, actually in southwest Utah, temperatures near 90, partly cloudy skies. Watch out for that elevated fire danger threat that will be around across the area here. Overall, our Thursday looking pretty decent out there, but that isolated storm chances on the edges of Utah. Otherwise, temperatures in the 80s to near 90 for most of us. We'll be around 90 in St. George with that southwesterly wind and elevated fire danger threat, so be aware of that as we go throughout the afternoon. And then as we look at your forecast here for the Wasatch Front, isolated storms, temperatures into the mid-80s today, cooling into the upper 70s to near 80 across the area as we get towards the weekend with a slightly better chance of those isolated storms. All right, let's get a check on your traffic this morning, and as you'll be able to see, we're looking pretty good out there overall. Quiet conditions out there across the region. So if you're getting ready to hit the roads this morning, nothing that's too major out there across the area. But otherwise, just keep in mind that traffic continues to pick up this morning. So that may cause you a few delays. As you can see there, there are going to be a little congested spots probably with more folks out on the roads.